Hello, my divine, infinite human beings, or all that is, ever has been, and ever shall be. And welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Elizabeth Monroy, and this is the Infinite Human Talk Show. And we're here today to talk about this very, very underplayed, but extremely important, pivotal time frame. We are now in the 999 portal. And this is the culmination of, I would say, of course, the past 5 years, but it's also um, the culmination of a war of frequency that has been going on for eons. In fact, I'll go even into billions of years. So this is culminating on the 999 portal, which is the final. Okay, 9 is completion of a cycle, and we are in the end of the end times, and it is such a powerful energy that has come through with the Lion's Gate, and now it is integrating and weaving into every cell of our body and into the very fabric of time, of our time matrix. And it is correcting and resetting everything. This is the true reset, the real reset that we were supposed to have, not the 2020, scandemic reset to artificial technology. This is the reset to the crystalline spiral, the organic timelines, and our true future. And I'm sure you're feeling it. So please tell me in the comments below how you've been feeling. I've heard you, I've seen your comments, I can feel you, I've gotten your telepathy mails, T-mails, and I myself, and plus many of my colleagues. I haven't had guests on the show during this period because I never know if I'm going to be able to show up or if they're going to be able to show up, because it's such an elastic time. Really, the weave of the timelines is so elastic right now. And you may be feeling, I know a lot of you have said, and I've felt it, like really strange, like I'm out of time. I'm a step out of time. I'm not all there. And you're not all there because you're molding and melding into this whole morphing, into this whole new reality that we have not been in such very long time. So your body's feeling it. I hear people with aches and pains, and they never know what they're going to feel. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, because your whole nervous system is being rewired, literally. And the frequencies are so powerful and high. They're just every day pouring in, and your body is having to assimilate it. It's like getting electric shock treatments 24/7. So there's a lot of that going on right now, and there's a lot of sorrow too, some sadness. Part of it is just exhaustion of your body and everything from going through such massive shifts in reality. But also there's leaving behind the old, saying goodbye. So if you're like me, a lot of you in your dreams, or maybe just when you meditate, or just when you still yourself for a few minutes, you might have flashes from memories of all your lives, from your childhood, of your parents, of your friends, of your, just dashing from one, kind of like a montage of downloads, and it may also be from other lifetimes, because you're assimilating and clearing and purging all that, and the ancestral miasma. So huge changes, huge leaps, quantum leaps. Now, if you're feeling it, I know it's been hell, but it's going to pay off because you're doing the work now. For those, if you look around and you see many of those who are not seeing it, who are not feeling it, who are not doing the work, hey, I'm trying to see. I've opened this up to my new community on Mighty Networks. And if you guys are listening, I'm not seeing your comments here, but I want to open up in Mighty Networks, but I'm afraid I'm going to get a backlash. So I'll try that in just a minute. I'll try to go over there to get the comments, but let me first set the tone for this because before I lose my trend of thought, and then I'll go over there in just a minute. But so if you're doing the work, kudos to you because it's going to pay off. You're going to be able to really quantum leap onto this magic carpet of a new timeline. But for those who aren't, who are still, caught up in 3D, becoming very, engaged in the external reality, they're going to have a real hell of a time, as the quantum begins to pull our reality more into this other reality. So give me just a second. Let me see if I can find those gals over here. Okay. Well, all right. Okay, so hope they're there. Hope you're listening. And we'll come back over here. Sorry about that. This is my new community that I've created. It's called the Infinite Humans Co-Creating a New Earth. And it's a community. It's free to join the first level, and you get to see the talk show without commercials, and you can ask questions. And at the end, I'll dedicate some time for that. But this is the first time we're doing it, so it's a little, techno rocky. But okay, so back to how you're feeling. All right. So just kind of take an inventory, go through your body, understand what's going on. If you're tired, a lot of you have been very, very tired. I've been either like nervous and not sleeping for days at a time. I might get 2 hours sleep and just go. And then the other day there was kind of a big slam dunk halt. And a lot of it was just for recalibrating and integrating all the frequencies. And I think I slept like 12 hours first time all summer. So, it's been really, really intense, but it's good intense. It's amazing what's happening. So I'm going to tell you the ramifications of what we're now entering with the 999 portal. But first, just kind of be really, it's very important to tune into your body, to slow the outer world down. Nothing in 3D is worth this moment in time, of you sacrificing this, because this is a time when you're going to feel and heal. You're going to integrate all these frequencies. You're going to purge and bring together all your identities, all your past lives, and they're all coming into this lifetime. And so things are coming up for you. It may be very bizarre. You may be feeling fine. You may be, driving in the car and just start crying irrationally and not understand why all these tears are flooding out. Or you may feel, very nervous, have a panic attack, or you may feel just like, a freight train hits you and you can't move your body. But this is all part of the lower frequencies clearing as these pure, high, divine frequencies fill you up. They fill you up and they are pushing you into a whole new reality, onto a new timeline where everything goes your way, right? Everything goes your way. So it's worth it. So take your time, rest, try to use as many natural remedies. I've been using Bach flower rescue remedy a lot, so that got me off of, first I didn't know what to do. I took a Xanax or something, a few Xanax, and that's not good for me. But I got off of that. So now, I'll just do the rest of the Bach flower remedies or herbs or things like that. So try and ground yourself, pay attention to what you need to eat. I've been heavy. I've had to be heavy. And no matter what I eat, I haven't even felt like eating, but I could eat a lot or eat nothing, but I'm still like the same weight. And I just know that for now is what I need to be to carry these frequencies. So don't get on your case about your body, about trying to have a body that fits into the 3D world, trying to keep a schedule that fits into the 3D world. Of course, if you have a 3D job, that's that's kind of difficult, but hopefully that will be shifting. All right. So in fact, it will be shifting. I promise you, if you're doing the work, if you're letting go of your old stories, if you're not identifying with the person you were, if you're not running those old mind control programs. And I know I've been beating, maybe a dead horse with this, but this is the time to do it. And I know I look out there and I see in the social media world, there's so much disclosures and everyone's looking for, the next big thing that's going to happen, outside of themselves. They're looking, to see what's going to happen with the governments, with the politics, with the aliens, with the, med beds, and they're looking for something external to do their job, to take care of them, to save them, to make everything okay. They're looking for a financial, solution for the banks to fail. Good God, we don't have new banks in position, but I heard someone said that, oh yeah, the banks are going to fail. Yay, like yay. We're not ready for that yet, guys. You and I have to create new structures, okay? So this is the time to stop looking outside of yourself, because I promise you, everything you see in the physical is going bye-bye. Okay. It's going to morph. It's going to shift into this new reality. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. But because of that, stop looking outside yourself. This is the time. And I know this isn't a popular message. I know there's millions of people out there who are promising this and promising that and giving you an activation that will, that will fix everything and heal everything and buy this and do this and pay for this. I'll remove all your spells. I'll remove all the curses. But that is your gift. These problems that you're coming up to, these triggers, these emotions, these miasmas, these diseases, the disease in your body, the lack of peace in your soul, the cluttered mind control programs running out, in your brain, creating worry and strife and self-sabotage. These are gifts to you because you need to be pausing and becoming mindful in the now moment. And you need to be looking at them carefully to shift them, to release them, to stop shooting yourself in the foot, because the energy has changed. And the only thing that is holding you back now is you buying into the old the old mind control programs. And I'm just saying that because you've come so far. If you're listening to me, I know you've come so far. Just look at yourself 10 years ago. Look at yourself 5 years ago. Look at yourself a year ago. Look at yourself just last week. You've changed so much, and more than perhaps you even realize, because it's all internal right now, and it's integrating and recalibrating you to be in alignment with the crystal spiral of the organic timelines. Now, one of the things I think the biggest trick that the parasites, okay, the fallen angelics, the parasitic entities did to us was they made us think that reality was what we open our eyes and we see around us. The buildings, the government, people, the politics, the medicine, the education, the people around us. That's, and we're looking at that to change. Okay. We want that. That's how we think change happens in the external world. So we're thinking, well, things have changed because our external world changed. You got me? So you're looking to the repercussion of what has happened. And in reality, true change happens energetically, because, and you've heard this a million times, everything's energy. I am energy. First, I'm energy, and then I take a holographic form, of what I look like physically. I create that. I project that. I project my hologram out. And so I can see it, so I can see myself, so I can know myself. And likewise with other people. So the energy is where the power is, understanding how to change the energy, shift the energy. And the parasites, let's call them parasites, they are experts at that. And that's what they've spent this past, good Lord, this frequency war's been all about for billions of years, as I told you before. And especially the last 5 years, that's all been about encasing our Mother Earth and us with these lower frequencies. And that's what's all this artificial technology, all the jibby jabs were about, connecting with the high five OG trees, and that was all to keep, because they knew this time was coming. They knew the frequency of the organic earth was rising. So they created, on top of what they've already done, and they've done incredible things. I mean, moving planets to lower, to get us out of an alignment with the true pathway, the true crystalline spiral back to infinite God source. They've completely rearranged everything. And we've had a lot of talks about the ancient technology, the Tartarian ancient technology and architecture that they've completely covered up, mudslided, landslided, and dismantled to keep us in a low frequency. And that's what they've been spending all their time doing, because if they had that container of low frequency and they had us in it, positioned in it, then anything they want to do that is in misalignment with God's source, with infinite source, with the eternal divine mother and the divine father, anything they do that is out of whack with the law of one, with respect and honoring the free will of everything, with respect and reverence to life everywhere, to our Mother Earth, to all nature. Okay, anything they did contrary to that would work, would grow, would be in its right element. It's like, the pond scum at the bottom of the pond needs that kind of environment to spawn, these demonic forces. They have to have the low frequencies, because the low frequencies allow them to be parasites, because parasitic behavior is not in alignment with infinite God source. It's not in alignment with the true organic timelines of the crystalline spiral. It's not, it doesn't work. So they had to change the energetic alignment of our planet. And they did. And that's what we've been living in. And that's why I say the cards have been stacked against you. So many of you, and I know, this is the whole thing. The last will be first, the first will be last, the meek will inherit the earth. We've been played. We've been played as martyrs. We've been we've been victimized. We've bought into that whole thing. And sorry, just a minute here. Excuse me. Sorry. So we've been in that container of low frequencies, and anything we've tried to do, when we've reached out, when we've called out to our eternal mother, our eternal father, when we've tried to, use our infinite power to shift things, to change things, we've been blocked, we've been stopped, we've been encapsulated in this veil, this Metatronic veil of illusion, this matrix. And we've been stuck in this Metatronic Fibonacci spiral of death. And that's why so much of our good intentions, and we have these memories from all our lifetimes when we've tried so hard, and instead of succeeding, we've been, victimized. We've ended up rescuers, end up victims. We've ended up, being martyrs. We've ended up, with all this trauma from just our desire to do what we came here to do, to express ourselves and to be in alignment with infinite God source. So that's what you're healing right now. That is the pain, the trauma, the MK Ultra mind, trauma-based mind control. Because when you want to reach out and express yourself, when you want to do something that's natural to you, when you follow that inner intuitive urges, in the past, it's always led to, getting your head cut off or getting burned at the stake or getting drowned or whatever. It's always gotten you in trouble. So it's like this knee-jerk response of, oh, my intuition is telling me to do this, and it creates a lot of anxiety and fear inside of you. So many of you are experiencing that. So if you're experiencing that, let me know, okay? Write something in the comments if you have sometimes a fear, because that's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to return to our true, authentic, divine, infinite selves, angelic selves. But there's a fear because every time we've tried to do that in the past, it's ended up very, very bad for us, because we've been on the wrong timeline, in a low frequency matrix. So this 999 portal, which means the completion is in the year of the 9, which is, of course, oops, there it is. My talk show, sorry. Thought I heard something. Okay. Well, let's just freeze it there. So what's happening now with this 9-9 reset we're in, I've talked about this all year, we're in the year of a 9. And we're in the 9th month on the 9th day. All right. So it's 999. You add all of that up, it equals 9. So this is the whole, emphasis, this whole, final finale. And the finale is the end. All right. The end of the war, the end of the parasitic reign, the end of the Fibonacci Metatronic spiral. We've had a snap, we've had a pop, we've had a crackle. it's gone. And now anyone who is still on that Fibonacci spiral, and a lot of people are, they're going to run out of gas. Okay. They're going to run out of juice because there is no more quantum on it. There's no more energy. They have to parasite off of us, and they can't anymore. I mean, it's separated. So, and this is really good news. So right now you should be jumping up and down in your chairs or seats or wherever you are with what I just said. Okay. What I said, again, what did I say? I said that all their shenanigans, all their manipulations, all their parasitic tactics are no longer going to have any power over you and I. No longer. They will not be able to pull the things they pulled because they don't have the power. They don't have the energy anymore. They're not in the correct environment, right? It's like someone that, it lives in an inner ghetto, and they get away with, like hiding and fighting and all this, but also you bring them up into, a wide open pasture, with beautiful sunlight, and they're exposed and they're visible, and they can't, hide in their dirty little corner alleys anymore. Okay. They cannot do it. So any of their tactics, and this has to do with politics, with government, let's say, and I've exposed some of the dark agendas that, with the Trump and the Musk, and the AI and all that, there are dark agendas behind that. Now those agendas won't be able to latch on, and they're still spinning those. But what does that mean? That means that all that is going to have to be, if it's going to succeed, if it's going to have a future, because that future, the Fibonacci timeline, is heading, down. I mean, it has no future. It's on a dead end train. Okay. But so if they're smart, which, many of them are, they're going to figure out, okay, I have to make an adjustment. I can't pull that anymore. Narcissists are pretty good at learning about what they can and can't do. So they'll have to shift everything eventually onto this crystalline spiral, onto the organic timelines. And what does that mean? It means they can't get away with, they have to play nice with everyone. They have to create things that are user friendly for everyone, not to enslave people. They're going to have to, create institutions and governments and economic, economic, financial investments or banking systems, or the whole economy will have to shift. So it's not the few, the greedy few hold all the power, and the many are subservient to them. Those tactics are not going to work in this new frequency container, okay, or the new road, the new timeline, the new path. It's not going to hold water, which means, okay, so this is great news. This is wonderful news. And I want you to really have faith in this, because it means the only thing that's in your way is your past, is your shadows, is our ghosts. In fact, they're not even real. They're just illusions. And as soon as you can, heal, because it's been traumatic. So as soon as you can just get peaceful and calm, and then begin to step out with confidence, baby steps, with the security and certainty and assurance that each step you take will be met, okay, on this crystalline spiral, on this new road. It will be supported by the universe, because the universe has your back, because you came here to do this. You got this. You came here to be the change. You came here to walk the new path. You came here to lay the foundation for the new earth. And you came here to be your true self, your authentic self. You don't have to be anything else. You can take all your masks off of trying to fit into a broken, finite, distorted, inverted, perverted world, because that has been horrible. That has been the greatest, I think, challenge for star seeds, light workers, whatever you want to call us, femmes, orpheans. It's been huge, because it's gone against our grain, and it just felt wrong. And we were told all our lives, you have to be this way. You're not, made to feel bad for being who we are, for being the ugly ducklings, the swans. And now is our time. So now we need to just slough all that up, forgive, forget, you learned your lessons, but just let it go, and now step forward on this path, and you'll find that you will be leading, because it takes a lot of work, a lot of courage, and you're a chosen one, because you chose to be here. Okay, chosen people are ones who choose, and everyone can choose, but you chose to come here. If you're listening to me, you're very highly encrypted. You're a great soul. You're waking up to who you are, and it can be a bit unnerving. It can be a bit frightening at first to realize the magnitude of what's happening, and to begin to awaken to all aspects of yourself, because there's many of you. There's many different levels to you. I mean, you have a Christos self, you have an avatar, Christos, you have a Rishi self, you have a part of you that's still in the infinite. That's all that is, ever has been, and ever shall be. So this is a powerful time, and you just have to believe in yourself, first of all. Believe in your connection to infinite source, because that pathway has been cleared. You can now ask, and you will receive. You can ask infinite source for anything that you need. All right. And it's going to be a done deal. So that was a lot. I'm glad I got that out. All right. So let me just talk a little bit about. All right. Mm. The good thing about this is that, I've exposed a lot of dark agendas, but now we have to rise above that. Okay. We have to stop looking at, and I know right now there's a whole bunch of disclosure, it's all coming out. And many people need that right now because they haven't awakened to the dark side, because there's in the world of duality, in the 3D earth, it's a duality, the yin yang overlay, black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. And that's not all there is. That's just the very, I guess, the beginning level, kind of the first grade or something, kindergarten, where you start to realize, oh, maybe there is something, causing these problems. Okay. So many people are out there and they're really, waking up and they're learning. It's an important phase. And of course, I went through it. Everyone's gone through it. And I wrote about it in my book, The Infinite Human, Connecting All the Dots. So this is a really good guide if you want to understand just on a very how everything fits together. It's my journey, but it's also your journey of trying to, fix the system and trying to do gooder and, always ending up in a dead end. And I expose everything from, the educational systems, medical systems, governmental systems, entertainment, hooray for Hollywood. I have a whole thing on that. So everything that's coming out now, I discuss in The Infinite Human that Peter and I wrote. But once you know the problem, I've said this several times, and stop feeding the problem. Because if you're always, oh yeah, did you hear about that? Oh yeah, it's become like gossip, and it distracts you away from yourself, from your own inner work. Because you're looking out there, you're looking for, POTUS to bring these criminals to justice, and for the cryptocurrency to save the economy. And you're looking externally to a crumbling world, because everything you see right now externally is a reflection of your frequency. So the more you can spend time raising your frequencies, integrating these huge, massive energy shifts, the more your world is going to change from inside out. Inside out. Okay, so how do you do that? I'm just going to give you a few tips. All right. So first of all, most important thing you need to do in these periods, I think it's really good to meditate, because your mind is expanding and you have to get a hold of it, because it's running old programs and it's going to do a lot of worrying. It's going to start, what if, that kind of thing. And you're going to have to start to command. We have not been in command of our minds. We have had 10% of our consciousness, and the rest has been subconscious, which means it's out of our awareness, but it has been influencing our behavior. So we don't know what the programs have been running. And now we're starting to break through that veil. We're starting to see what the programs are, what we've been saying to ourselves, how have we been sabotaging ourselves, how have we been always ending up the victim, how have we been always poor, how have we always had poor health, why have we always ended up in relationships with people that just end up taking narcissistic takers. Why does our story always end that way? We've been running, and we just finished a very powerful course, Rewriting Your Life Story, and the gals in there really moved. I was so impressed and amazed and in awe of their leaps in consciousness. But one of the things that comes up when you start to have more power is your thoughts really begin to manifest. So you have to get a hold of your thoughts. So one of the best things you can do is just, start meditating, find out a way that works for you. I use a mantra or go into the void. If you join my my group, you will see that there's a lot of meditation information that I'll give. There's a lot of techniques to help to raise your, activate your DNA and shield you at the same time. So I'll be sharing a lot of those things too. But, meditate, because that calms your mind, that helps you realize you are in control of your mind, of your body, of your nervous system, because you need to start learning how to take back your body, mind, and spirit and soul, because you haven't had ownership over it. And that's part of being sovereign, is being in charge of your mind, of your thoughts, and your emotions at the same time, not shelving them, but allowing yourself to feel them. And once you purge those dark emotions, you will be able to trust your emotions, because they will tell you about people, places, and things. They're very much connected to your intuition, following your heart. So following your feelings, you feel your way into things, especially women, that, that's, and as children, that's how we navigated the whole world. So that will come back to you, because we've been kind of told, we've been made to feel bad about being emotional, especially women. Oh, you're so emotional. Well, yeah, because you walk into a room and you feel the temperature of it. You feel the knives, you feel it on the back of your neck. Kiki is my service dog and my spiritual teacher, and she feels everything, and we're so connected. We both feel it together. So so that's good though. You want that. You want to bring that back online, and you want to honor that, and you want to create boundaries for yourself so that is honored. So that's part of it, part of this, part of feeling what's going on with you, waking up in the morning and just kind of feeling into your day. And if you're feeling some heaviness and sadness, try to get a feel of where that's coming from. If you can follow that thread, it might even lead to a past life. It might lead to a belief, that nobody loves you, that you're unloved, that you're not worthy, that you're not worthy of love, that you're not worthy to have good things, all the good in the universe. There's so much of that. You're a sinner, you're a miserable sinner. I mean, there's so much of that, the warped spirituality in terms of religion that's polluted our hologram. So that's part of what we need to be clearing out. I hope this is helping you. And taking it easy, slowing down. When I listen to some of you guys or listen to, my family or people, people that I know that are in the 3D, I just am amazed at all the things they do in one day. They get up and they blah, 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 or they travel all around the place. And me, I mean, I like, slow. My day just slowly evolves, and each thing I do is so important and so precious. And I wake up and I purify myself. I drink lots of pure water. I'm drinking this great water here in Italy that's in glass, and just hydrating and being in nature. I go to the beach, I swim in the salt. I walk on the sand. I live out in the country. I eat really good food, but I can't eat a lot of it because I just can't eat very much anymore. But so just really just move slow right now, because you are moving in a whole new direction. You're moving in a whole new body. This is a body you haven't had for eons. You're restoring. You're slaying the 666 beastie body, the carbon-based body, and it's transmuting with all this pressure, a diamond body, a crystal body, a silicone-based crystalla, 12-stranded body of Christ. And that's what you're doing right now. And it's a huge undertaking. We're doing it so rapidly because we're needed. The energies are just inundating us. The solar flares and the the Schumann resonance and the photonic belts and the codes that are coming through the sun. And I am a firm believer of being in that sun as much as you can. I've even been overdoing it and getting sunstroke, but those codes, that are transmitted through the crystal river failsafe host through our sun are just the highest codes that are transmuting you, that are activating your dormant DNA. They're they're rejuvenating you. They're bringing you bioregenesis. And, just be in that sun as much as you can. Breathe it in. Feel it in every cell of your body. Feel your plasma body being activated. And, we'll be talking more in my community about the whole plasma activations, in working with the plasma bodies and the crystal river failsafe. So, these are just some basic tips to navigate through this very powerful time, because you want to come out on top, because this is your time. This is what you've been waiting for. So the more you can really get yourself up to speed, that means physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and socially, clear all that gunk out, then you can open yourself up to really just ride that beautiful Kristalla spiral and become all that you're meant to be. Become a divine, infinite human walking our earth. So now, how do you know if you're doing it? How do you know, if you're evolving? How can you tell? And that's a very good question. So I'd like to hear some comments about that. How do you know you're evolving? How do you know you're on the Kristalla spiral? How do you know you're upgrading your whole life? Well, okay, one of the first things is that many of you have felt, and I know you've been very sad, a lot of you, about this, and me too, that you may notice that certain people just disappear. I mean, they don't call you, or you don't see them. They could be even in the same town. I know that happened to me, and I never see them anymore. Or I even would make an appointment with them, but something would happen and it would be canceled. So that is, the universe moving them out. They're not on your frequency anymore. And I know there's some dear ones that you just love so very much, but and it's not that they don't love you, but they just can't go where you're going. And I've lost so many people along the pathway, but it's not that I don't love them. I still love them very much. And I reach out to family when I can, but they're just not in your same frequency. They're not in your same world. They'll get there on their own divine time, but they're not on your list anymore. Okay. They're not part of your reality. So you just have to, love them, put them where they're supposed to be, unconditionally. Doors always open, but, just kind of let go of that. And there's some grieving with that. And then, right now, many of us are just, we're perched at the beginning of something wonderful, something grand. And we have that feeling. And I don't know about you, but every day when I wake up, it's like, oh, things are so different. There's not, it is a bit anxiety producing, because it's not comfortable, because it's not familiar, because it's a place I haven't been in a long time. I've been there before, but it's higher frequencies, and it's really imperative to live in the now moment, I found, because nothing, I mean, I can create what happens, but I kind of co-create. I'm kind of like, what should I do today? Where's the, and I kind of like let it unfold. And which is so different from, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I have Pilates at 3, and I have today, and I'll give your schedule all booked up with 3D activities, and I'm not saying there's not some good to do stuff, but we're morphing between these two worlds right now. We're really morphing into the people say 5D, but it's really even beyond that, into the higher frequencies, into the higher dimensions, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 15 dimensions in our time matrix, and we're multidimensional. So we're wafting in and out of these higher frequencies, and a lot of it has to do with our soul mission. And right now we're kind of recapitulating, recalibrating our soul missions, because we're coming into our real soul mission. And many of us, oh, we've got someone here. And many of us, hey, just joined. Great to see you too, Indigo. Thank you so much. So yeah, feel free to comment. But so right now we're at a in between kind of, it's just like a lot of space. And it's good. It's good to have space. But I know sometimes, when you just have a whole lot of space, you reach out for something, that comfort food, that comfort this, that comfort whatever, and it's not there. It doesn't work anymore. Like I love comfort food, and I can't even eat it anymore. I can't eat that much, or things that we used to. So we're in a period of not being comfortable, but that's good, because we're in a whole new earth, a whole new frequency, a whole new world. It's a whole new world. And it's a little discombobulating. Okay, it's a little scary. I'll be honest. It's a little scary because you're not sure, but I'll just say it's going to be great. Okay, the only thing you need to know is it's going to be great beyond your wildest dreams. So that's when you baby steps, one foot in front of the other, and trust. And now the next thing that's going to happen is your soul mission will start to kick in. You'll start to get like the visions. You'll start to get the instructions. You'll start to get the guidance. You'll start to get the plan of what you came here to do. Because if you're waking up now, you're part of the first wave, you're part of the founding, the founding parents, let's say, the founding mothers of the new earth. You're giving birth to the new earth. You're laying the foundation. And you came encrypted with a very unique soul mission that only you can do, just like your thumbprint. Only you have this soul mission. And it's very much attuned to your passions, what you're good at. And you might not even know what you're good at, because you've been trying to be good at the wrong thing. Something that's not you at all. That's what the whole education process is about, teaching you to do something that's not you, fitting into this broken earth. So this is going to start your passions, your talents. Just let them come out. Follow it intuitively. Pick up a pen, pick up a paintbrush, pick up a hammer, pick up whatever. Just let this massive amount of creativity that you've been stifling, let it start blossoming and coming out. And that's when you're going to become so focused, and you're going to be like walking on a magic carpet. So I began this with the question, how do you know if you're on the new timeline? Because you will just be flowing from one moment to the next in a joyful, blissful state, and your physical body will just be harmonious. It'll be evolving, and it will be fluid. You will be releasing. We've released the Metatronic seed atom and in the earth. So all these Metatronic reversals, coding, and overlays are dissolving from your body. The sexual misery implants are dissolving away. You're not going to be having all this dis-ease that you've had for so long. And emotionally, your emotions will be crystal clear. They might have been like dirty and murky, water and emotion, but they'll be crystal clear, purified emotions based in the frequency of love, unconditional love. And you'll be able to use your emotions to feel your way into situations. You'll begin to use the power of your womb, for women and men, because we have wombs, and that seed of power and that seed of divine feminine to create a whole new experience, a whole new life for yourself, a whole new world for yourself. And mentally, you'll be in command of your thoughts. You'll know how and where to direct them to create your reality, because thought directs energy. All right. So you'll be paying your attention to you, to what you want to create, rather than feeding problems and being, pulled off track by the external reality. And spiritually, you'll be, connected. You'll feel loved. You'll feel one with all that is. You'll just have that wonderful oneness feeling of loving and being loved, and finding your place in the world, and just knowing, this inner peace, this inner joy of who you are, what you're doing, and your place in the cosmos. And financially, you'll be abundant. I mean, money will just come in. It's energy. Money's energy. So you'll just magnetize everything you need for you to live a beautiful life. You'll feel abundant. You'll be well paid for the work you do, because you're doing the work you came here to do. You're working with the universe, and the universe will have your back. And then finally, socially, you will find your tribe. You will find the people who celebrate you, not tolerate you. You will be like, where have you all been? All my lives. And we'll come together in this beautiful co-creative dance of unity and oneness. And that's where we are. We're on the verge of that. So as you drop all these old stories, all these old programs that you've been carrying around, for so long, as you drop them, you will just float onto this magic carpet of the Crystallis spiral, and it will just become joyful. It's the path of joy. And the more you're on the path of joy, the more you will know it. There was no doubt. You will feel joyful. You will not have to struggle with finances or people. You will just magnetize to you everyone that you need. And it's beautiful. And that's what we're creating here. So we're almost out of time, and please, give me some comments, if you don't mind, about how you're navigating this time, how you feel like you're moving towards, the Crystallis spiral, and you're rewriting your story to your heroic infinite self. How's that going for you? And if you want to mention anything that you feel like would help you. And again, I really want to invite you to join my community. It's on Mighty Networks, and it's infinite hyphen human, and then it's .mn for Mighty Networks, and then it's .co. But it's all on my website, www.infinitehuman.com. There's a lot of places, and you can join. You can listen to this talk show, and we'll have a chat too, so you can talk to other people about the talk show. And then as you move up, there's tiers, and then there's some where we meet, like bi-weekly or weekly, for group chats to support and to inspire and to co-create with one another. And we'll also be having events, and we'll be doing this first on sacred cyberspace, but then we'll be moving into the physical, because I really want everyone to find each other. And it's about creating community and creating lasting friendships, because we all live all over the world, and we never know when we're going to come together or if we're going to meet in the physical. But this is a good way for like-minded people, that have that calling, that inner encryption to be the change, to co-create a new earth, to come together, to support each other in this ascension process, and to find your tribe. This is our tribe. And we will be coming together in the physical too. Eventually we'll be doing, I travel around the world and do like little retreats in ancient sacred sites, Tartarian structures, where the frequencies are really high, and just whatever I'm told to do. Like I say, I just work here. But so I hope this helps you, because I know it's a challenging time. I've had my challenges. This summer has been hell and back. I know my other colleagues, they've tried to do their leading work, but they've confided with me how they've had so many different health challenges or emotional upheavals. And, but it's all good. It's all God. It's all part of the process. We are moving on to this beautiful timeline, and we're going to see all this nonsense will just be removed from your holographic template. It will not exist anymore. And I heard someone, I believe the chemtrails, like the sun has been so strong here. They've tried it and it just fizzles away. And, this, and also the internet, it's not going to be there to enslave us. It's time for us to use it to come together in love, in a heart-based community. Oh, great. Oh, hey, Ashley. You got on. Okay. Thank you so much. Love tuning in. Really resonates. Good, good. Well, I am so impressed by you. Ashley is here, and she was in my rewriting your life story to your heroic self, and she was amazing. Very inspiring for me. I love to do this because I love to see, you guys, especially you, Ashley, really go with it and make the changes because we're all one. We're all a collective. And, it's really true. We're moving to the era where we're not competing anymore. We're not doing that dark masculine stuff. We're, straightening each other's crowns. We're helping one another because as we each help each other, as we grow, the other grows in the whole collective. It is a little bit harder for us right now. So pat yourself on the back because you are the vanguard. You're pushing the barriers that have not been pushed in millions of years. Okay, you're pushing into the frequencies that have been, forbidden and kept us downtrodden. You're the ones who are cutting the wires and moving the fences out of the way, opening the doors for all those to follow. So it's a little hard. But you wouldn't be here and you wouldn't have agreed to do it if you didn't know you could, and you can. And that's what we're all about. We're starting to come together in communities now, and they're going to be not this toxic communities that we've been exposed to, but they're going to be communities of heart-based communities where we, straighten each other's crowns, where we help one another, where we lovingly support each other, where there's not dependency, codependency, but there's just unity and lovingness and freedom and support. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for thank you, Indigo. I appreciate that. And I hope this helped you. It certainly helped me because, when you, and as you start your soul mission, when you start to share from your heart and with love, it's like you give that out and you get it back. And it makes you feel good to do it. And then, hopefully it's like a pebble. Then you guys go out and spread that love out and in yourself and your unique message. And, it just keeps growing. So, all right. I guess I'll say ciao for now. And I'll see you next week. All right. Ciao.